That chilling video of his final destination, the Trump Hotel. Authorities say Livelsberger died by suicide just before that blast. And they say in the notes he left behind, he railed against the United States, but he held no animosity toward the president-elect.
He explained his motives, calling his act a wake-up call.
If that had been a Democrat, a Antifa, if that had been anything that they could have pinned on someone even remotely leftist, they would have never stopped talking about it in the news stories. So why is the fact that this mother was a hardcore Trumpist left out of all the news stories we just watched? The man who allegedly detonated fireworks inside a Tesla Cybertruck in front of Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas was reportedly a supporter of President-elect. All they even said was like, oh, he held no animosity against the president. No, he was a MAGA. Just hopefully, the shit-ass conditions brought on by capitalism inspires people to actually take action to organize instead of, doing stupid terrorist things like blowing up a Cybertruck. The suspect behind the Las Vegas Cybertruck explosion left a note on his cell phone.
Major developments in the investigation into the man behind the Cybertruck explosion in Las Vegas. Late today, police saying the driver left behind notes on his phone, detailing his actions and clues to a possible motive. Newly released surveillance video shows Army Green Beret Matthew Livelsberger at a Tesla charging station during his trip to Las Vegas. That chilling video of his final destination, the Trump Hotel. Authorities say Livelsberger died by suicide just before that blast. And they say in the notes he left behind, he railed against the United States, but he held no animosity toward the president-elect.
The fuck?
And, quote, this was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. ABC's Mola Lenghi leads us off in Las Vegas again tonight.
Yes, this was actually an act of terrorism. He meant to do this. My initial, when I first heard about it, and I'd only seen the video from inside of the hotel of the Cybertruck on fire, my initial reaction was, that's just what they do. They catch fire all the time. It wasn't even the only Tesla fire that day. One caught fire in Georgia the same day. So I was mocking people on Twitter for saying it was a terrorist attack, but it did turn out to be not necessarily a terrorist attack. I don't think he wanted to hurt people, but he was wilding out on something.
Tonight, authorities saying the highly decorated Green Beret suspected of using explosives to blow up that Cybertruck outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas left behind notes found on his cell phone, providing clues to a possible motive.
And in there, you can read a couple of the excerpts. We are the United States of America, the best country, people to ever exist. But right now, we are terminally ill and headed towards collapse. This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives? Why did I personally do it now? I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took.
Officials confirming that 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger died by suicide just before the explosion. Master Sergeant Livelsberger was on approved leave from his base in Germany. A senior U.S. official telling ABC News there had been no red flags. Authorities releasing these new surveillance images showing him at a Tesla charging station as he made his way from Colorado to New Mexico, Arizona, and Nevada. That Cybertruck rented via the app Thur. Livelsberger pulling into the hotel valet at 7:35 a.m. Wednesday before pulling out, returning an hour later. And then, 17 seconds later, the explosion. 7 bystanders injured. Sources say Livelsberger was divorced and had recently remarried, his wife reportedly telling authorities he'd been out of the house in Colorado Springs since Christmas following a dispute over infidelity. And while investigators say they found those notes railing against the condition of the United States, they say the soldier held no animosity towards President-elect Trump.
We've found that the subject held no animosity.
He was a Trump supporter.
President-elect. The Army indicates that he likely suffered from PTSD, and we are also aware that there were potential other family issues or personal grievances in his own life that may have been contributing factors.
Investigators scouring the suspect's background. FBI and local police searching this townhome in Colorado Springs. Neighbors stunned.
He seemed normal. His wife is...
Law Dog, welcome in.
They just had a baby.
Well, Mary, late today, the sheriff here in Las Vegas saying they are aware of a podcast claiming to have a letter from Matthew Livelsberger mentioning recent drone sightings in the Northeast and claiming that he was being followed by federal investigators. Now, authorities say they're not 100% certain it came from him, but they do believe it did. Mary?
Mola Langi with the disturbing new details tonight. Mola, thank you.
He could have possibly been a paranoid schizophrenic. Apparently, his wife was leaving him. So, that could have played into it, too.
The Green Beret who blew up the Tesla Cybertruck outside Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas left behind suicide letters taking aim at our nation's leaders.
We are the United States of America, the best country, people to ever exist. But
No, we're not.
We are terminally ill and headed towards collapse.
He explained his motives, calling his act a wake-up call.
Why did I personally do it now? I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took.
Cops also released new video showing him parking the Tesla at a charging station. Matthew Livelsberger's personal life was in tatters. His wife reportedly kicked him out of their Colorado Springs house the day after Christmas, accusing him of infidelity.
Sounds about right.
Told him that she knew he had been cheating and broke up with him. 2 days later, he rented the Tesla Cybertruck and reached out to an ex-girlfriend raving about the vehicle. I feel like Batman, he texted Alicia Arrett. How fast is it? She texted back. Ungodly, he responded.
No, it's not.
As a former Army nurse who dated the Green Beret after his first marriage ended in 2017. She says his behavior changed when he returned from a deployment in the Middle East with a traumatic brain injury. He became isolated, but did not seek treatment. He married his current wife, Jennifer Davis.
Yep, sounds about right.
21. They had a baby girl in September, and he seemed like a proud papa. But the relationship appears to have imploded right around Christmas.
He actually calls it a stunt in one of these documents that we're going to release to you, that he was trying to get the attention of the American people because he was upset.
Nothing like the Batmobile.
Inside the burned-out Cybertruck, police found Livelsberger's charred passport and military ID. Today, the hotel is back open for business.
No, I had a friend who was the director at one of the TV stations I worked at, and he had a Camaro, and he thought that looked like the Batmobile because he was such a Batman fan. He had a black Camaro, and he thought that looked like the Batmobile. And it did, kinda. Oregon Gal, welcome in. Thank you for the resub. Happy New Year to
A
you.
guest shot this video outside, showing the ceiling of the front entrance blackened from the Cybertruck inferno.
Camaro definitely looks more like a Batmobile than a Cybertruck. Apparently, there was some sort of computer program. I don't know if I saved this. That there was a computer program back in like the DOS days or some shit. Or maybe it's after the DOS days. And it had like a car you could design. It was a wind tunnel. It was a wind tunnel like simulator. Like you built the car. I don't even think it had graphics or anything, right? It was like you designed how the car would look, or I guess that would be a graphic, but it didn't have like video to it or anything. You would design how the car would look, and then you put it in the wind tunnel and tell you like your score, and the highest score on the game, the car looked like the Cybertruck. So people are speculating that it could have just very well Elon played that game and carried that design with him as the design that would get you the best score in the wind tunnel all these years. Why is it that if that had been a Democrat, a Antifa, if that had been anything that they could have pinned on someone even remotely leftist, they would have never stopped talking about it in the news stories. So why is the fact that this motherfucker was a hardcore Trumpist left out of all the news stories we just watched? The man who allegedly detonated fireworks inside a Tesla Cybertruck in front of Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas was reportedly a supporter of President-elect. All they even said was like, oh, he held no animosity against the president. No, he was a MAGA. Law enforcement officials identified Matthew Allen Livelsberger as a Green Beret. A senior law enforcement official told the Daily Beast Thursday that Livelsberger was a big Trump supporter, a fact that had been uncovered through conversations with Livelsberger's family and loved ones. Dean Livelsberger, the uncle of the deceased, told The Independent Thursday that his nephew loved Trump. He used to have all the patriotic stuff on Facebook. He was 100% loving the country. He loved Trump. He was always a very, very patriotic soldier, a patriotic American. Why does patriotic mean blind devotion to a nationalist politician? That's what everyone means when they say patriotic, and I fucking hate that. I assure you, I'm more patriotic than that fuck ever was. It's one of the reasons why he was Special Forces for so many years. It wasn't just one tour of duty. Livelsberger once criticized John Bolton, Trump's ex-national security advisor, who wrote a scathing rebuke of his former boss. Bet Bolton got a hefty chunk from the DNC and other slimy donors to put the book out, Livelsberger wrote in a Facebook comment under an article about Bolton. While the symbolic nature of the incident appears to refer to the partnership between the president-elect and Elon Musk, Livelsberger's motive is still unknown. I'm assuming it's because his wife left him. No, to me, patriotic is doing the right thing for your country, putting your country over yourself. And that's the exact opposite of what I see from the right. They interject their politics and their personal beliefs into fucking everything. Apparently, he had a traumatic brain injury, which, understandable, being in the military. Apparently, he had PTSD on top of that. His wife left him. He was radicalized from being in the military. All those things are factors.